last week, I was telling you about the process of writing and editing a script for self-publishing, and then I told you about the professional editing process and the lessons that you learn from it, and then I told you about designing the book. With that, there's also giving the book a title, which is what I want us to talk about today. For me, when I was starting to write my script, I really did not have any title in mind. I, however, was optimistic that in the process of writing the book, different titles will start coming to my mind and I'll start considering them. And that's exactly what happened. So I had different titles that came to mind when I was writing the script. And some of these titles, they were all related titles, and I think for you to understand where I came from with these titles, I need to tell you what the book is about. So here's a minute to introduce to you The Budding Tree. As explained in the blurb, the book, it's about infertility issues, and it's basically the journey of a woman from the time they are born to the time they realize that something is not right about their system, and to the time where they are actually getting a diagnosis and finding a way forward. So what I did is I wanted my title to actually express what I have told you, that it is actually the life of a woman from start to finish through a character, of course, not every woman, but I've used a character to show the life of a woman. So I wanted to call this book The Growing Woman, or The Life of a Woman, or something like that. So I came up with titles that I thought would intrigue the reader to try and find out what is this about this growing person. So I came up with different titles, which included Life of a Growing Tree, because I equated the life of a woman to the life of a tree, because a tree is fruitful, a tree is it grows through different stages, it shades, it grows again, it produces flowers, it produces fruits and all that. So I was equating the life of a woman to the life of a tree, because basically that's also what a woman does. Then from there I went to Life of a Growing Woman, then Stages of Life, which I thought was too general, then Life Transition. Then by the time I was finishing my book, now I was trying to bring all this together. When my editor was editing the book, he actually suggested the phoenix, and the phoenix is the bird which is on the cover of the book, which I told you about earlier. And what the phoenix does, if you read about the phoenix, I don't know if it's actually a bird that exists, but a phoenix is a bird that can actually die and come back to life with so much force. There's so much force involved. And so we were equating the life of Awiti, who's the main character in my book, to that of a phoenix bird. So that's why we thought of titling the book The Phoenix. And then we had The Growing Tree, and then we thought it was too, the growing tree. And then there was The Budding Tree. Budding simply means growing, the process of growing. So we thought it was quite cute. So the final titles by the time we were finishing writing the book were three: The Phoenix, The Budding Tree, and The Growing Woman. And we had to come up with a title between the three, and this is how we decided on The Budding Tree. First, we looked at how many books out there have been titled with the same title. Giving your book a title that is already there in the market will be a problem, because when you're marketing your book, you're likely to divert the attention to another author. So that's why you actually have to consider the title you're giving your book. You don't want to market another author, or to market and everybody goes to check out another book which is not your book. There's so many titled books with the title The Phoenix. So we didn't settle for The Phoenix. We ended up settling for The Budding Tree because it sounded good and it wasn't out there in the market. We were among the very few people to write about The Budding Tree, and if we placed the book in the right genre, we were likely to sell it. So that's how we titled our book The Budding Tree. Now, different authors have different ways of coming up with this title. Some people actually come up with a title before they come up with a book. The title sort of inspires the book, and others just have a story to tell and don't know about the title, and so they write and the title comes as they keep writing, and others need some help in coming up with the title of the book. Whatever you do, the title of the book that you choose should be something that is captivating, something that is market friendly, and something that is easy to pronounce. And of course, if you go by the title rule of thumb, is it shouldn't be more than 7 words. So that's how we came up with our title, and I hope that this short video has been informative to you. You'd think that now that we have a script, we have a cover, we have a title, that the book is ready to be published. Guess what? We are far from it. On my next post, I'll be telling you about the other different processes that you have to go through before you can actually say that you're ready for publishing. I hope I see you on my next post. Goodbye.